She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, and welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We are very blessed that you decided to join us today and hope that you decide to join us each and every day. Why? We want to see you succeed, and you want to succeed. And every day on this show, we're bringing you strategies, even skill development to help you become more successful in your career, with your money, and in your relationships at home as well as at work, including the relationship you have with yourself. Because, man, we can be so bad to ourselves. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that you cannot have success without this very, very important muscle. Yes, it really is a muscle. So few actually have developed this muscle. So many have just let this one go. And as I have found through life, that when you ignore a muscle, it gets really weak. It gets flimsy. It shakes a lot, and it's just gross. Just period, end of story. It's just gross. I know from personal experience. Anyway, the University of Pennsylvania surveyed 2 million people and asked them to rank their strengths in 24 different skills. Self-control ended up at the very bottom. Just this morning, my colleague and I were having an intense conversation about self-control. You see, self-control can work in a number of different ways. And you're saying, I hate this topic, Dani. I suck at self-control. You must be diligent with self-control. It's a practiced muscle. You know, recently I noticed that it was getting harder and harder for me to lift up my carry-on bag in the overhead bin while I'm traveling. And I travel a lot, especially during the summer. I just was gone for a month, a whole month I was gone. And had family, you know, I was with family throughout the whole trip, or part of the trip. But yeah, I was gone for a month. And so that was, you know, I had 2 bags that I had with me, one carry-on and one main suitcase. And man, I just noticed like it was getting harder and harder to be lifting this bag. And I'm just noticing as I get older, these arms are not getting stronger. They're just not getting stronger. They're getting weaker because I must be using them less, or obviously, you know, life is what it is. You just get weaker as you get older, so therefore you got to do something about it. So, self-control. Yeah, maybe you and I are very similar. You have it in some areas and maybe not in others. And, you know, I've come to this revelation, either I have it or I don't. And if I'm not using it, I'm losing it. And is it really self-control if we don't have to use it? You see, most don't have to use it. If you have things that come easy to you, you're not using self-control. You're not using it at all. Self-control is used in your weakness. And a lot of people run away from their weaknesses. They don't want to do anything that's anywhere near their weakness because they don't like to have to strengthen something that is actually weak. So I could talk to you about this for hours, but we're going to go to the phones and we're going to pull up Laura from Colorado. Laura, how are you? If you were to grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, self-discipline, self-control, where do you rate yourself?
I had to laugh. I think I'm probably a 4. I always thought myself is better than that, but the reality is I'm like, oh no, I don't have much.
Why? Why is it a 4?
You know, I'm the kind of person where I love to set goals for myself, but I never finish them because I have so many.
Right.
And that's probably why. So I love to read. I have literally dozens of books that are half read because I'll start reading them and then I see
another one
that triggers my mind. I'm like, oh, I need to go read that one. Or I have so many business ideas. I can't tell you how many businesses I've started but then stopped because I realized, you know, I didn't plan it right for that. And so I just laughed when I saw that this morning. And I'm like, because right now I'm in between things, and I purposely planned that. You know, I closed a business in October, and another one has actually kind of popped up by accident, but I'm keeping it, I'm keeping it low key because I know myself. But I just laughed because I'm following your weight loss thing. We're about the same age, and I'm like, Oh, yeah. I was, great shape forever. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff came on. And I'm like, oh, now I don't want to make the effort to lose it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really upset with myself actually concerning that, because I just let it.
Really?
Last 2 years, I'm like, forget it, man. I've been so disciplined, my whole life. And I just want to relax a little, forget I'm going to eat like my husband. I'm going to eat with my husband or eat like my husband. Like, oh my gosh, this is the worst mistake ever of my decade. The worst.
Yeah.
And the worst timing. The worst timing to do that. You know what I mean? Gosh, I'm so mad at myself. But this is what's so interesting. What I found is that when that little place, that little small place, food of all things, that I allowed myself to not be self-disciplined in, that then completely had arms and legs like little ants that went and crawled in every area of my life. And I'm not happy with that because now there is bumps on my stomach and they're gross. And I've never had bumps on my stomach before. And I haven't worked out for 30 years. And now I've been working out for the last couple of months and the bumps aren't gone. I'm like, oh, I did this to myself.
Yeah.
I did this to myself and it's wrong. And so self-discipline, you have it in some areas of your life and you kind of need to come to this place, Laura, where you just say, you know what? What are the top 3 places that I am going to focus on most? What are the 3 books that I am going to finish this year? And everything else just takes a back seat because, Laura, not everything can be a high priority. And that's the thing that you have the challenge with. Everything's a high priority to you. No.
It is. I really have a hard time prioritizing because I'll think, okay, this is my priority. And then something will happen. I'll go, oh, well, maybe this should be my priority.
Okay, so here's how that happens. Here's how we get distracted. It's because it's what my husband calls the spinning plate deal. You are reactive instead of proactive.
That's a good way to put it. Never thought of that.
Yeah. So you're reactive. You got 12 plates spinning at the same time. And as soon as you get down to plate number 8, plate number 1 starts wobbling. So then you stop you stop adding plates and you go back down to plate number 1. You get that one, oh crap, number 2's not spinning as well. So you have to go respin all of them and then you go, okay, now I can get number 9, number 10. Oh no. And you just keep going back. And this is your life, Laura. Back and forth, back and forth. You got to get out of that.
This morning I'm having my little devotion time with the Lord and I come across this verse that I just loved and he gave me a revelation and I was like, oh, product idea. And I jumped on my phone and texted my stepdaughter and said, can you draw me up this thing? I'm going to make some speakers. And oh my gosh. I know. I got in the car going, what is wrong with you?
Okay, no, there's nothing wrong with you. It's the way God made you. But if I was coaching you, this is what I would say. Write it down, tell no one, pray. And wait.
That's good.
And December's a good month to go back through and look at all those ideas and see which ones died, see which ones were caused by indigestion, see which ones were caused by boredom, see which ones really were from God. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's it. I had several clients that had the same disease where it's like, whatever excites you is what the direction that you're going to go in. I say, you know what? We'll talk about that in December. December's a good month to talk about that. Things seem to slow down in December for many people. Let's talk about it in December. Let's talk about it in December. Great idea. Let's talk about it in December. We're doing nothing with it now. We're going to stay focused on these 3 things. So what will those 3 things be for you? What are they? What are the key most important use of your time, your talent, your ability? You will never have a lack of ideas. You will never have a lack of opportunity in your life, ever. There's always way more opportunity, even though there are people on the planet. There's always too much opportunity. So not every opportunity is a God opportunity. It's not a God idea, and it's not the idea that you should be working towards. What 3 things will you finish that you will exercise self-control with, that when the idea comes or someone comes at you, you know what? Let's talk about that 12 months from today. And if this is still alive and it's still a good thing, then, we go after it. But for right now, these 3 things are my main focus, and these 3 things are what I'm going to accomplish. So you need to pick what those are. And again, not everything is a front burner focus. There's only one front burner focus. The second one is the next one in line, and then the third one is nearly a back burner. Everything else just falls to the side. And therefore, now you're getting disciplined, you're applying focus, and self-control. And this will build your confidence. This will have you accomplishing more than you've ever accomplished with much less time, much less emotion, much less effort, because there's nothing more powerful than focus. Look at this.
That's such a good word. I can think of the 3 right off the top of my head, but I'm like a little kid in a candy store going, but I don't want to pick just 3.
Well,
but
actually, you're actually not a kid. You are in your 40s, and it's time to grow the heck up, period.
You're right.
Use the excuse all you like. It's time to grow the heck up. You know how much time we don't have left right now? Not much. I'm looking 10 years ahead from now, 20 years, and 30 years ahead from now, 40 years ahead from now. Like, ooh, things are going to drastically change between now and 10, 20, 30, and 40 years. So you really got to cherry pick. What are the most important things that I want to focus on now? It's fun to look at other things. Doesn't mean you have to do it. It's fun to draw inspiration out of other things. Doesn't mean I have to do it. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. Doesn't mean now is the time. But you can draw excitement from other things. You can draw inspiration from other things. You can draw creativity from other things and apply it to what you have committed to do and getting it done.
Love it.
Amen.
I've written down my 3 things. I'm going to stick.
Attack. I want you to write them to me. Write them to me. Write me on Facebook. Right there. I want to see what they are, and let's focus on that. Thanks so much for being here, Lori. I appreciate your transparency. You're a doll. You're absolutely adorable. What about you? Are you in that same place where you get distracted, where you actually have that thing in you that you got to be excited all the time about what you're doing? And if you're not excited, you're always looking for something else exciting. You know, that can lead to adultery. That can lead to adultery. Adultery even in your business. Yeah, meaning that you're unfaithful to your own business because you're wanting something else to excite you. Come on. Step out of manipulation and step into self-control. Step out of being provoked, living a life of being provoked and living a life of reaction, and start living a life that you direct by design, that you live it by design, according to your makeup, according to the gifting, and according to the weaknesses, according to what is obvious all around you. There's a destiny calling out of you. Don't be chasing your tail. There's a direct line from the place that you stand to the place you want to go. Now go after it. This is Dani Johnson. We're going to continue with more about this topic right after this.
When we come back, Dani shares how self-control is the key to one of her most important goals. If you're setting goals, you don't want to miss it. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Do you dream about feeling more confident, more beautiful, more powerful, but instead you're that girl that never learned to do their makeup and now you feel lost in a sea of YouTube makeup tutorials? Or you're that new mom that can't get enough sleep at night and just wants to feel pretty again? Or the busy professional that wants to magnetize brand new clients and get more respect in the office? From the boardroom to the bedroom, xmhbeauty.com will help you. Our company has a proven track record of making beauty available on any budget, from celebrities to girls just like you and me. Our live classes, step-by-step tutorials, and insider secrets will have you standing out from the crowd. Go to xmhbeauty.com/Dani today to get your free gift from us. That's xmhbeauty.com/DANI.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First steps to success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org. The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
Change your habits, change your future. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Dani, I have really good self-control in these areas over here, but these other areas, I don't have it all, but it all balances out. It's all okay. Is it really all okay? And are you really using self-control in those other areas? Or are you just not being tempted in those other areas? Do those things not matter to you in those other areas? Self-control is used for a weakness. What is yours? This morning I was on the phone with, actually it was mostly through text, with my coworker, Mary. We were talking about, because both her and I have spurred each other on to help ourselves get to a healthier, stronger place. I have not done any physical workouts for 30 years, and I decided as I look ahead 10 years from now, where is this body going to be? And I didn't like the look of it. I didn't like the option of it. And here's what inspired me. A year ago, I met a woman who is 72 years old, and her body looks like she's 25. No joke. Even her skin, like her skin on her arms, was so nice and tight. Her backside was absolutely gorgeous at 72 years old. She had a flat tummy. She was incredibly fit. Yeah, she had a gray-haired bob, and it's obvious that she was 72, but from neck down, I would have loved to cut my head off and put it on her body. Not that I'm not grateful for the body that I got, okay? I've maintained my weight through food, nutrition, cleansing, and lots of sex. That's been my exercise program. But as I get older, I could tell that there's some parts of my body that strategy that I've used for the last 30 years is not quite gonna work moving forward. So meeting this woman, Kristen, really inspired me, because I had never seen a woman that was in her 70s whose body looked better than 25 and looked better than me, who's almost 30 years younger than her, 25 years younger than her. And I sat and I stared at her. I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was possible to look good in your 70s. I didn't know it was possible to have tight skin in your 70s. I didn't know it was possible to have firm abs and to have a firm backside and arms that weren't jiggling in 10,000 different directions when you wave at somebody. I did not know that was possible. So I started to do what a lot of people start to do. I did not use self-control. What I started to do was hide things. Yes, I haven't shown my arms publicly for a long time. It's been 2 decades. I purposely have always worn clothes that hide my arms, whether it's a sheer sleeve, a long sleeve, 3/4 length sleeve, longer t-shirt sleeves. I just purposely have not shown my arms, right? Why? I didn't like what they looked like. I had gorgeous arms through high school, played a lot of basketball, so I had totally ripped, beautiful arms. As soon as those arms started to disappear, I started to cover them up. My mom has a tremendous amount of cellulite on her arms that she's hated her whole life, and that's just where a bunch of fat seemed to pop up on my mother when she was obese and even after she wasn't obese. And I genetically have the same thing. And so, I hide them, right? I hide different parts of my body, okay? I stopped wearing shorts several years ago and started wearing skirts during the summer. And I'm like, skirts are cooler anyway. They're cooler. The wind is passing through, it's better anyway. I started to convince myself. I didn't even realize that I started hiding certain parts of my body that was starting to deteriorate. Wrong thing to do, until I met Kristen. Looked at that woman and went, that's my new goal. She's 72. I want to look just like that at 72. Then Ernestine Shepard, 82, bodybuilder. No, that's my 82-year-old goal. Sometimes all you need is a vision to start exercising self-control. Are you shrinking back and covering yourself up instead of using self-control to go after what you want? So in my conversation this morning with Mary, hers is she doesn't eat enough. That's where she needs self-control, is to eat enough and eat enough of the right foods. So when she's trying to lose weight, she has a tendency of going towards starvation instead of sticking to a solid plan that can help her to succeed and eating enough so her body doesn't go into starvation mode and then she plateaus. And so for her, it's not self-control with eating bad food. She has no problem not eating bad food. Her problem is eating enough food. So where is your lack of self-control? And is that place of a lack of self-control hurting you, or is it going to help you? You know it's hurting you. What is your goal? What do you want to be? What do you want to look like? What's your vision for your body? What's your vision for your health? What's your vision for your finances? What's your vision for your marriage? What's your vision for your kids? What is your vision for your career? What is your vision for your spiritual life and your walk with your God? What is your vision for the poor and how you will affect them? What is your vision for what your life is going to stand for? Wherever you have a vision, you are going to have to exercise the muscle of self-control. You will not succeed without it. And if you are like me and like most, all you will do is shrink your vision so that you don't have to use self-control. But once you start using self-control, you get stronger and stronger and stronger and easier and easier and easier, and then you're the envy of everybody else. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
My name's Erin Hudson, and I'm from Huntington Beach, California. You know, I just have to share with you, I never thought I'd be up here in a million years. And I have to tell you, my story is not my story. My story is to help each one of you, to give you a little bit more hope. And as I share with you my story, I apologize up front. I get really emotional. We have been through hell and back. And I share this with you again to really give you hope, okay? Prior to coming to First Steps, we had filed for bankruptcy in 2010. I was a broken woman. My marriage was in a downward spiral. My kids were completely out of control. My business ruled my life night and day. And then I found Dani Johnson. Since attending First Steps to Success in July of 2012, my marriage has been restored. My kids are now the most respectable, loving children to one another and to their parents. We never traveled anywhere. We now travel around the world and have traveled with many of you that we consider close friends. We've gone to Belize the last 2 years, and I've been able to share with my children and show them how to serve others that are in more need than any of us happen to be. On top of that, our biggest accomplishment yet, I would have to say, is last month we paid off the last of our debt, and we paid off in the last 2 years and 2 months, $892,000. Wait, hold on, and some cents. $892,522 of debt, and we are now officially business and personal debt free. I have to say, this core report that Dani's going to equip you with today is going to change you. You're going to become a phenomenal champion communicator. And just with what she's going to teach you this afternoon, we're projected to hit $1 million. And I know it's because of what she's going to teach you in this next portion. And without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce my mentor and coach, America's favorite millionaire, Dani Johnson.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
What did you rate yourself on self-control? I loved what Laura said earlier. I rated myself as a 4, and she's giggling and had to laugh at herself. We're talking about that muscle that maybe you haven't used in a while, but guess what? It's time to pick it up. It's time to start using it. You will be so very proud and blessed, confident when you become self-disciplined and stop just shrinking back from what you know you should be doing with your life and just get deadly serious and follow it through with self-discipline and self-control. Going over here to Joanna from Texas.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How wonderful. How about yourself?
Good. So, how you doing with self-control, love?
Well, let me say, my statement here, I can't put a blanket. I'll put a 7 on it if I need to. But my self-control, I'm just going to tell you, if it's reading a book, it's a 1, okay? Because I'm just as bad as Laura. I have 12 of them laying around, but
God.
I'll get to them someday. Those don't count. When it comes to my kids, I'm an 11. I really care about what happens with my kids, and so that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, so what are the books that you have that are unread?
Oh, some of them are actually books that I've read through one time, and I'm going through again, like The Power of Positive Thinking from Norman Vincent Peale. That's one of my favorites.
Okay, but hold on. The reason why I'm asking this is because if your kids are your higher priority, are there any books in your library to help you become better as a mother and serving them at a higher, better capacity?
Oh, yeah. There's always something. The Bible's the best one right there.
Okay, so then are you really an 11 with your kids?
I'm sorry?
Are you really an 11 with your kids?
I'm an 11 when it comes to prioritizing
No.
and having them.
No.
Okay.
No. Because every mother needs to constantly be learning and growing and fine-tuning their skills. Number 1, anyone that becomes successful is always learning and fine-tuning their skills. So you set an example for your children. So the example you're setting for your children is to have 12 books going and not complete them. B, a mother who is growing and learning is not growing and learning from herself, but that she's diligently making investments and tackling her weaknesses. Because isn't our life filled with all kinds of failures and weaknesses? So what we're teaching our kids when we don't tackle those weaknesses is to just ignore them. They'll eventually go away. Not a good lesson for teaching our kids, is it?
No.
No. So basically, you feel really good as a mom, and it's easy for you. But going up to the next level as a mother and learning how to become better as a person with character and new strategies and new skill sets and communication and new leadership with leading them even financially, well, what's your goal as a mom? What's your vision as a mom? Is it just that everyone loves each other and gets along? Because I'm sorry to tell you, Joanna, that is not enough. That is not enough.
No, they don't get along all the time. No kids ever. That if you do, there's something wrong.
Yep.
That I would agree with that. I hadn't thought about it in that respect, but to be honest,
they're watching what you're
I'm proud of
doing.
my kids. My youngest one reads a lot.
It's awesome.
And I just think
so maybe do
I
this. If the youngest reads a lot, say, hey, what are you reading? Why don't we talk about the books that we're reading together? And let's set a goal of how many pages we're going to read together, and then let's discuss what we're getting out of it. I really admire how much you read, and I want to learn and grow. And as I get older, I seem to read less, and that's not wise. Wouldn't that be an awesome connection? Yeah, it's an awesome bridge to build with your youngest and to have discussion and jump into each other's minds. And that's a great accountability partner. Make sense?
Yes, it does. Very much so.
That's awesome. It's time to go to the next level, Joanna. Trust me, I've been in places in my life where it's like, man, this is going pretty good. And then, bam! Ouch. Ouch. But the main thing is as we get older, we seem to get rid of self-control. We seem to get looser, with less discipline, less structure. Isn't that wild? And we dream about retiring and doing nothing.
No, I actually don't dream of retiring and doing nothing, because if I ever do sit down and do nothing, I might as well be dead.
Yes. And
I'll
so,
be busy my entire life.
but how do you think that people get to that place of doing nothing? It just starts
I don't
with,
know. I just can't fathom it myself.
no, I know. It starts with one lack of self-control at a time. It starts with one place where we are shrinking back, one place of just getting slow, one place of, again, having 12 books that we started that we need to finish. That's how we get there. That's exact. Then pretty soon we're just too tired. You know, I'm just tired. I'm so tired. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just tired. I just don't have the energy I used to. Man, I could see myself walking in that direction. I can see myself saying those words. And it all starts with one day. Just starts with one day. So I think you're an awesome mom, and I think you love your kids and you're totally devoted to them. And as an awesome mom who's totally devoted to your children, you absolutely should do yourself a favor of keeping your axe sharp and never stop learning, because that knowledge is showing your kids something, and that you're growing and you're challenging yourself, that you're not necessarily above them and know all things, but that, boy, you want to be equipped and prepared to learn what you need to learn when you need to know it. That sets an amazing example for them. Yeah. You're awesome. You're awesome. Thank you for being a mother that loves your children and wants to improve in every area of your life. We've got Tammy Zapier from Texas. Tammy, welcome to the show. How's your self-control?
I give myself a 2 in area of health, 4 in the area of home, an 8 in my area of work, and a 7 in my area of budget.
Wow. Okay, well then what does that tell you all the way around the board there?
I need to exercise my muscle more and flex.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. All right, so you said you're a 2 in your health. Yes. How does the 2 in the health, what impact does the health have on those other areas, the home, the finances, and work?
Oh, everything. You need the energy to be able to apply to all areas. You need to be feeling good physically so that you can perform mentally at your full capacity.
So what does this tell me? Okay, tell me, if you were looking at this and you were looking at, okay, if I'm looking at the scoreboard here, so a 7 in finances, an 8 in work, a 4 with the home, and a 2 with the health, what is Tammy Zapier's priorities?
Work, followed by budget, followed by home, followed by health at the bottom.
Yeah, that's exactly 100% right. And if you continue on the path that you're on, how old are you?
38.
So at 38 years old, if you continue on the path that you're on, because you're finally coming into the age where you realize that your physical body is not invincible.
Yes.
Pretty much from 0 to about 35, you think that you're invincible. Everything's going to be this way forever. But, you know, you reach somewhere around the 40s and you're like, you start looking at the generation that's ahead of you, the people that are 10 years older than you, you're like, caca.
Right.
That doesn't look so hot. You look at the 60s, you're like, that doesn't look very good either. And 70, right? You just are, oh, gosh. I got to do something about that. And then unfortunately for most of us, we have been lazy with our health for so long, and it's not been a priority for so long that most of us just say, forget about it. I just give me the 13 medications. Oh, well, my hip hurts. I need hip surgery. We get sucked into the excuses and settling for less and asking for mediocrity, a double portion of it, a supersized form of mediocrity. So, Tammy, looking at how diligent you've been with work and what that's produced in your life and also with your budget, what does your future look like with...
Oh, it'll be getting better, definitely. I saw your video you posted on Facebook, and I'm all in, so...
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That will be changing dramatically.
So you know you have the muscle of self-control when it comes to for work and finances. So you know that the muscle is there. Now it's applying it to something that you've kind of allowed to die. And
right.
You know.
My excuse is that I'm lazy or that I have plantar fasciitis or I have weak knees. But if I get off my butt and do the research, there's always modified exercises. There's always different routines I can do versus the high aggressive energy bouncing around things. I can change it up and do modified variations of that.
Not only that, but you can start studying what foods cause inflammation. Maybe even maybe have an allergy test to see what foods that you're actually allergic to. My daughter found out she's allergic to all cow. Anything that comes out of a cow, her body swells on it. She gets massive migraine headaches. She takes that stuff out, she feels great. So there's different bodies that respond to different foods that cause inflammation that then a doctor says, doesn't say anything about inflammation, just says you have some disease, when all reality, you take care of the inflammation, the disease isn't there. So it's about researching your body, researching what food, test your body. It's a lab. Let your body tell you what you're allergic to and what you thrive on and what makes you feel good and gives you energy, and all of a sudden the pain goes away. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
How can you get self-control working for you instead of making you feel guilty? It's easier than you think. Dani will show you next on The Dani Johnson Show.
But I'm so blessed that I found what is in Grooming the Next Generation for Success. This is a book that is being taught in universities around the world. It's been noted as the best book on parenting that has ever been written. Crazy, if you ask me. But the point is that this thing gets results. Get your copy today, 888-757-8880. Again, that's 888-757-8880. Or go to DaniJohnson.com. That's DANI Johnson.com. Get your copy today. I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination, that's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
My name is Andres and I'm from Latvia. Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was a struggling English teacher back home. I had a language school that I started when I was 21 and had grown it to be pretty okay in my city. But at the same time, I had acquired a debt of $60,000. In a matter of 8 to 9 months, I got rid of my debt. And by 2011, we had our first $1 million year. This has been amazing. We grew our school from about 100 students to 2,000 students, and I can only highly recommend for you to come to the next event and be part of this community and learn the tools that will help you to succeed.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, my family and I were hemorrhaging under the pressures of debt. Since attending First Steps to Success in January of 2014, my family and I have paid off over $147,000 in 19 months. We're completely consumer debt-free. We have restored relationships, and our business is growing at a rate of 15% at every event. Your next step is to sign up for the next First Steps to Success and start creating your own story.
My name is Jeff Conyers, and prior to First Steps to Success, I was a struggling business owner. I had discovered that my business account went negative $5,000, and I realized that I did not have a business plan and I needed to do something. Fast forward to 1 year after, I have now created, just by implementing the tools at First Steps to Success, over $50,000, created another business, improved my personal and business relationships. Man, it's like the story is forever changing, and it just gets better and better. I don't know about you or what you're going through, but I would highly recommend getting to First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging into First Steps to Success, we were drowning under a mountain of debt. We were heading to divorce court. We had failing businesses and toxic relationships. Since plugging into First Steps to Success, our marriage has been restored. We have paid off over $56,000 in 11 months. We've helped our community pay off over $300,000 in 14 months. My business has grown in over 600% in 4 months. And for the first time, I could say I'm just loving life. I have great relationships. So if you are fine where you are, then this event is not for you. But if you're ready to reach your goal and to change your life, then I highly recommend that you get registered for the next event.
Hi, my name is Jill Kearns. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Prior to coming to First Steps to Success, my husband and I were struggling financially and were hurting in our relationship a lot. We needed more time together, and we just were struggling with that because of the finances. And so since plugging in, we've actually paid off over $280,000 in debt. We're completely debt-free, and more than anything else, the look on my husband's face of relief and excitement about where our future lies, and the traveling and the fun, enjoyable times that we'll get to spend together as a family is totally worth it. So if you want to have better relationships with your significant other, your children, if you have a desire to be completely debt-free and released from that bondage for whatever reason, whatever the burdens are, your next step is to get to First Steps to Success right now.
So prior to getting started to DaniJohnson.com, I was a college dropout. I was working a bottom of the barrel type job. I started plugging into her training. I've skyrocketed through the ranks of corporate America. I've tripled my income in the last 5 years. That's all fine and dandy, but it wasn't, there's a part of me that had the part missing. So I ended up using Dani's prospecting skills, and I ended up meeting the love of my life. Since then, we've paid off $32,000 of debt since October 2014. So get here now. This is the greatest thing ever. You have to see this. The skills and strategies Dani teaches are unbelievable. They totally took someone like me with no education and helped me just like multiply my efforts. So you need to be here.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
You've heard this before. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, goodness, and the one you want to leave out. Self-control. And that is like one of the most important keys for your success financially, with your business or career, and in all of your relationships. Self-control. He who has self-control is mightier than one who can totally storm and control an entire city. That if you can control your own spirit, your own tongue, your own choices, what your hands touch, what they choose not to touch, where your feet go, where they choose not to go, you are in control of every choice that you make. But you know what we do? We create excuses. I'm too busy. I've got so much going on. That really isn't important to me. This is one of my favorites. That's not me. I just don't like that. Oh my gosh, have I used that one for years. We've got Haley Bird from Texas. Welcome to the show. What about you? Where's your self-control and where does it suck?
Well, I rated myself, I gave myself an 8 for work, a 5 or 6 at home, an 8 for fitness, and a 3 for diet. Ooh. And it seems like most of my problems start with my mouth. Like I eat too much and I say things I'm not supposed to. So I need to control my mouth.
Okay, no, hold on. Where I love that. What about your spiritual life? Where would you be rated?
My spiritual life has gotten a lot better this year. I'm praying a lot in the day and the night. Like it's a lot better than it has been, but there's room for improvement.
What do you rate yourself in your spiritual life?
Oh, spiritual life. I would give myself a 6 or a 7. A 6.
Okay, now guess what? There's a reason why I asked you about that. Okay, so are you married?
Yes.
What would you rate your self-control in your marriage?
I would rate myself about the same, about a 6.
Okay. Are you a mother?
Yes.
Where would you rate your self-control as a mother?
About the same.
Okay.
It all has to do with things that I say. I feel like I'm trying to do a lot of things all right, but my mouth, sometimes I have trouble controlling my words.
Yeah. Okay, so look at this. So if we were to look at this on paper, what is the most important thing in Haley's life?
Most important? Well, spiritual would be the most important.
Based on your ratings of your self-control and your ability to succeed in self-control, what are Haley's highest priorities?
It looks like work and fitness. Look like the highest. That's not good.
Yeah, those are Haley's highest priorities: business and her body, her fitness. And then her husband and her kids are lumped together along with her spiritual life, which is God.
Ouch.
And the house, those are all muddied together. The house, the spiritual life, the husband and the kids, they're all in the same sandbox together.
You're right.
Yeah. Haley, it's kind of sobering, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I guess that's something that I really need to start putting more time into. And I thought I had been, but I think I need to work on it more.
Let's look at this. Something has to shift and something has to give. It sounds to me like you generally don't miss a workout.
That's only been like the last month or two, though. So it's always been the case.
Okay. So what you put your focus on is what you get good at, right?
Yes.
So can you tell me that first of all, how we live out our spiritual life, in my opinion and my experience, which is not the full picture of anything by any stretch of the imagination, but just, take it with a grain of salt, that when our spiritual life is in order, what comes out of our mouth will reflect that.
Okay.
And self-control is the fruit of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, that you are supposed to be filled with. So if God's wisdom and His Holy Spirit is what your focus is, self-control is an added bonus that comes with it. It comes with love. It comes with joy. It comes with peace. It comes with patience. It comes with gentleness. It comes with self-control. So when God is our number one focus and we're choosing to walk in His Spirit, those issues with your mouth, as you said, would clear up real fast. Really, really fast. And your work life being a higher priority than God, than the husband, than the kids, than your health, meaning the food that you're putting in your mouth and the health of what's coming out of your mouth, when that business is put in the right priority and the workouts are put in the right priority, which is under all of those other things, okay? Working out is important. That's taking care of your temple. That's taking care of your temple. As long as it is unto the Father in heaven, that it's dedicated to Him, that it's not for vain purposes, but that you're being responsible to love yourself. Because the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. So the food choices you're feeding you are His child. And He's putting you over with authority to govern over your physical body. You're governing over your physical body. He's given you this physical territory to govern. And as you love that physical body with wisdom, right? Wise choices of food and wise choices of exercise, not crazy 3 hours a day. 30 minutes a day is enough. All studies have proven, many studies have proven that 30 minutes a day is enough. Even 30 minutes 3 times a week is enough to sustain good health. You have some specific goals, 30 minutes maybe 6 days a week. But there's no reason to have your life be consumed with fitness. No reason for our life to be consumed with food. So we have to look at our food habits and go, why am I choosing to poison my body? What is it in me that causes me to poison myself? Or am I going to love myself? Because if I'm loving myself, I am feeding myself that which is good, noble, pure, and praiseworthy. So it's get the spiritual life right. You'll treat the temple right. Your husband will be in his right position, loving and honoring him in the highest position that he should be in. Your mouth will have self-control as you're walking by the Spirit with him and going, hey, I'm supposed to honor him. He's my highest priority. I need to treat him with love. Have God teach you how to love him. Same with the kids. Put that business at the bottom. And you'll be amazed how your career will explode because you're not so attached to it anymore, but that you are attached to things, the thing that matters most in life. That's your God, next your husband and your kids. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need.
Hi, this is Dani Johnson. Let me ask you something. Do you dream about being more confident, more beautiful, more powerful? Are you that girl who never learned to wear makeup and now you're lost in a sea of YouTube videos? That busy mom who can't get enough sleep and just wants to feel pretty again? Or maybe you're that professional who wants a little more respect in the office. From the boardroom to the bedroom, celebrity makeup artist Xtina Harmsworth from XMH Beauty will help you. Xtina has a track record of making beauty easy on any budget. Her live classes, simple step-by-step professional beauty techniques and insider secrets will set you apart from the crowd. So don't sit on your dream another minute. Learn from the best. Get your exclusive free gift from Xtina today at xmhbeauty.com/Dani. That's xmhbeauty.com/DANI.
Prior to Dani Johnson, I was struggling in my business. I was drowning in debt. Me and Crystal weren't doing so well either. In the last 21 months since our first event, I paid off $36,000. We actually got engaged, which was the best part, and my business made $90,000 last year, and I've given over $5,000 to orphans this year as well. So I can tell you that this has changed my life, but I want to recommend that you come to this event and learn as much as you can from Dani Johnson.
I attended a First Steps to Success event, and after the skills I learned there, I started a home business. I've made over 5 figures in 1 month. Actually, I've generated over $90,000, which is way more than I ever did working full-time at my other job. So we have increased our income, paid off debt. More than that though, we no longer have that pressure. It's just been such a blessing to my family. So, everything might be awesome in your life, but if you want to increase your income, pay off debt, improve relationships, live the life you've always wanted to live, I suggest you get to DaniJohnson.com and register for the next event.
After plugging into Dani Johnson, we made a covenant that we would either move forward together or we would go our separate ways. And in a matter of days, we sold his car, we bought our engagement ring. 5 months later, we were married. We paid for our wedding in cash because of the business skills that we had also learned from Dani. And we've since then more than quadrupled our income, and we've been together now, married for over a year.
And after plugging into Dani Johnson, we have paid off $196,000 in 13 months. My company has grown 90%, and I have relationships that I could never have even imagined with the ones I care most about around me.
Prior to attending my First Steps to Success, we were drowning in debt. We had lost a business. My second marriage was going down the toilets. I had no time and relationship with my son, and I was just a mess, and I was burning out fast. After attending First Steps and been to a few events, we have a thriving business that's gone international. We have paid off 65% of our debt. We are not just making money, but we're saving money and we're learning how to grow money. I have got a marriage that's gone from barely surviving to thriving, and I now have 2 children with whom I have so much time. I am not burnt out, stressed out, and all I can say is you've just got to get here.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
It's time to take on a whole new mindset. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
So, I don't know where you rated yourself. I know that I rate myself. Not always happy with my ratings, but it's important to have grace. But it's also so important to look at your life. It's really important now and again. Ever so often, once a month, maybe once a quarter. If you've never done it, at least start something. Once a quarter might be a good start. You set a calendar date, you make an appointment, you're going to put yourself through an evaluation, and self-control is one of the characteristics that you want to make sure that you master. And it really just starts with one day. It seriously just starts with one day. One, you got to identify, where's the weak point that is causing contention and stress in other areas of my life? You identify what that is, you get to the bottom of it, and you apply self-control. You are in control of your flesh, my friend. You are. You're in control of every decision, every word that comes out of your mouth, everything that goes in your mouth, every place that you go to. Do not blame other people for your weight problem. Don't blame other people for your business problem, your financial problem. You got to take personal responsibility and make the appropriate changes so that you can get to where you want to go. You are in control of those things. You're in control of your emotions. You're in control of your response when things don't go good. And if you find yourself in a place of failure, you also need to be the one that loves yourself with grace and mercy to move past the failure. You have to be the one that loves yourself enough to encourage and edify yourself when you are down. You have to be the one to encourage and edify yourself to focus in on the things that you've made that are good improvements in how you have advanced yourself. Do not expect yourself to be perfect today and perfectly self-controlled and disciplined. No, you need to maybe even keep a scorecard. You know what? 60% of the week I did phenomenal. 40% I kind of screwed up. It's okay. I'm still ahead. Tomorrow I'm going to do better, or this next meal I'm going to do better. This next meeting I have with my spouse, I'm going to do better. The next time I see my kids, I'm going to do better. These are important things. By the way, have you gotten a hold of First Steps to Wealth or Grooming the Next Generation for Success? Get your copies today. This one is free. This one is worth your payment of $15. We'll send you this $15 book, First Steps to Wealth, absolutely free if you pay the shipping to get it to your house. And by the way, come, get out of your house. Come and join us at a live event. You need to get around these amazing people. You also need to come with us to a foreign country to make a difference and to help transform a nation that's in extreme poverty. Transform them with your love. Transform them with your skill. Transform them with your knowledge and your expertise. Transform them with your prayers. Come and join us on an adventure. Let's go into a foreign nation. Let's build some homes together, dig some wells together, bring some education, food, clothing, whatever it is that we can bring to help. Get out of your house. There's so much more to life than Netflix. There's so much more to life than video games. There's a life that is calling out to you, and there's people waiting for you on the other side of you saying yes to live in your life by design instead of by default. Get over to kingsransom.org. Check out the 1,000 Home Project. You can be a part of it. $5, you can make a difference. $25, $5,000, you can make a difference. No matter what dollar amount you want to be able to give in that direction, it's going to make a huge difference and save a life. That's it for us. Let us know how you enjoyed today's show. Come and say hi on Facebook at Dani Johnson Live. Talk to you soon. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.
This has been the Dani Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson YouTube channel. We're super excited to have you here. And every single week, we're going to make sure that you get awesome videos for your business, career, making more money, saving money, annihilating your debt, as well as helping you to handle those really tough problems that you have with people at home as well as at work, and taking those really good relationships you already have and causing them to flourish and grow. All you have to do is click that subscribe button right down here. Click that and you'll be subscribed to an amazing community of people as well as some great videos that will help to improve your life. Thanks so much for being here. Subscribe now would be good. Just click it. I know you can see it. It's somewhere down here. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.